With the job actions trailer and a super long live letter in just 2 days from now, I really want to spend some time and talk about the Sage. And it's probably the worst kept secret. I have not shied away in any way from saying that I plan to main barrier healers, scholar, and sage into endwalker. In fact, if you want to go over what I've compiled together of what we already know about the sage and more information on it, then please check out some of my videos. I've got sage information roundup videos going over everything that we know, theories about where they are and where they came from, and much more regarding the sage on this channel. Is it obvious that I've been hyped up? I'm actually losing my mind over it. Like, the Reaper looks amazing, guys, but for me, the Sage is just like, oh, floating PEWPEWs on a healer. This is perfect. But I'm going to talk about what I personally hope to see in the brand new Sage job coming up that would make me personally absolutely jump for joy in the Sage's toolkit. I should disclaimer, none of this has even been confirmed in theory at all. This is all speculation. This is what I dream to see. Like, if all of this is in the Sage's toolkit, I'm dropping everything else. I'm just playing Sage. So first up is going to be damage to healing in a skill or set of skills, whatever they choose. I played World of Warcraft for a bit, and they had a class called the Disciplined Priest that could temporarily apply a buff called Atonement to allies, and they were more limited in applying it through AoE than single target by a large margin though, so it wasn't like completely on the entire team at all times. But the point is that this atonement buff would transform a portion of their damage that they dealt into healing for allies. Now guys, I know for the viewers who've been here for a long time, you already know what I think about dealing damage as a healer. This was a mechanic I loved and I was obsessed with. This was actually just fun gameplay. It's just like, for all of the faults World of Warcraft had, I liked the Disciplined Priest gameplay loop. I loved it. Sure, it might not have been the best for Mythic Plus, but I loved it. Being able to throw out a metric ton of DPS rotation, just blow a target to bits that resulted in healing, oh, bliss. But let's ground it in Final Fantasy XIV. Would this even be fair or balanced? And I see this as a way that the Sage could have a regen-like effect, because white mages literally have regen, Astros have their regen equivalent, and then Scholar has their fairy pet. All of these are methods to get slow trickle heals on allies. It only seems fair that like the Sage could have an equivalent like this. This could be their regen. Or another way to think about it is like a reverse bloodbath, where bloodbath is like on melee DPS and then you can like deal damage to heal yourself. Or a direct sibling. Actually, a direct sibling would be Warrior's Nascent Glint that can be used to heal an ally through the warrior dealing damage. So literally the exact same idea. So there's no doubt in my mind we have the technology, so I'm hoping that this can happen. Next up, I really do want an engaging damage rotation. And I know it's a healer, but guys, like, look at a Rubberborn Scholar, look at even Stormblood Scholar, like, things have never been as stripped down as they are now. There's always an option to do more if you want it. And so this expansion, especially this expansion, actually has me nothing short of intensely nostalgic about how Scholar played in A Realm Reborn. We'd weave in a metric ton of spells and just manage a lot of dots. It was so engaging to me. Even their area of effect involved applying dots, spreading them with Bane, and then dropping down a Shadow Flare field, and then filling in the gap with Blizzard cross-class skill spam. Like, I miss that level of complexity. Like, just spamming Art of War, this is not doing it for me. One thing that I don't really see as appropriate though would be damage over time effects for the Sage. And I don't know if that's going to be controversial to say. Maybe you could like shoot their Aether for like bleed damage, but for me, I see the Sage has floating guns that go pew 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 pew. And so I'd love to see it have some kind of similar bursty rotation akin to what the Machinist does. It's like you're not really debuffing a target, you're not really buffing allies, instead you're just going ham, just going boom, boom, boom. It's like the Machinist really goes in and does those big drill bursts, air anchor bursts, and builds up heat gauge, or energy gauge, I get it, but we're probably not gonna get an energy gauge. But they build up this heat gauge to expend it. Like, it was already stated when the Sage was announced that they're gonna have abilities that augment how other abilities act, and immediately to me, this sounds like, oh, maybe it's like hypercharge or something. And I think that this isn't an unfair request because we already have healers that have in the past and have through their entire existence had a more simple DPS toolkit. And I think that that is an option that I always will want. I will always want a smorgasbord of options so that people can pick and choose. I would never want to deny anyone that, but in return, I'm just hoping that the Sage being a new introduction, we could like push the envelope a bit, please. Third on my list, and this might be a little controversial unfortunately, is I want on-demand damage mitigation mitigation. I don't want it to be controversial, but guys, when I say this, I'm also not talking about a shield here. I mean percentage damage reduction on demand. And I think like a Rampart that I could apply onto like a single ally for a set amount of time. Or probably the better example is something that we already had in the past, was old range DPS could have the ability Palisaide that I missed dearly. It was a long cooldown, it just lasted a little bit of time, but it increased the defenses and usually would be on a tank in like a big pull or like a tank buster scenario. Like one of my biggest losses this expansion was from Ast was the bowl card, and I know anyone who's like an hyper optimizing like parser who is like trying for like 99th percentile parsers, yeah, I get it. The bowl was not a card that you liked. I know, I remember it myself. But when we're talking about anything that isn't optimization, like even if we're talking like progression rating, that card, that defense mitigation on demand was actually pretty handy. And it's just like I think a lot of the people that also don't like the bowl card, a lot of them were playing a lot in a static. And it's just like for me, who has played with enough players crunched like tin cans under my boyfriend's ass, that I really want applied damage percentage mitigation. I don't think that's unfair. Like even if we look at histories, like we had eye for an eye skill, which was a great buff that you could apply. I mean, yeah, it wasn't perfect, I get it guys. Or take old virus. I'm starting to reminisce over the past and I'm like, oh my god, I get it. Like they gave it to like casters, but why give away my tools? I want my tools. Now the final thing that I truly want from the Sage is just complexity or layers to it. I want those deep interactions with the toolkits, like things that I mentioned earlier with like turning damage into healing. I love this, it's so bonkers. Especially after this past expansion for healers, I feel that healing really became so streamlined, and I think that there is a point where it's just like you need to balance out complexity and need to not take it like too far in that direction. I definitely believe in that design philosophy 100%, but I think that we went a little bit too much into the opposite direction where it's just like Scholar was never about spamming one skill. Oh my god, never. Like I'm just at the point where for a new healer, especially for Sage, I don't want it to be like pure HPS hammering out Medica 2, Afflatus Rapture with Planetary Indulgence. Whoa, I'm the HPS monster truck. Whoa. Like in my mind, that's a white mage's job. Instead, especially for a new healer that's being added, I want things that have a little bit more intrigue to them. Like take the Astrologian's Horoscope ability, which is a perfect example in my mind. It can be used as a very weak minor OGCD heal on its own, or amplified and is like a stored up, much more powerful AoE heal that you can store up for up to 30 seconds later. That's funky, that's weird, and I love that. Or take even the Scholar fairy interactions in and of themselves are so weird. You're able to place the fairy around and then apply AoE heals to targets that are way farther than you, because it's just like you can be on one end of the arena, your fairy's in the middle, you can heal the guy on the other end of the arena with the fairy if you place it right. Or even the fact that you're like using and weaving in OGCD heals for things like Fey Blessing, Seraph, Constellation. This is really weird. Or another example would be Astrologian's Earthly Star that charges up for a big bursty heal. It's weird, and I love this stuff. So for me, I want to see the Sage with weird, flavorful parts to its kit. Give it something weird that makes me have my eyes squint as I'm reading the toolkit, being like, have I gone crazy? Until I've like practiced with the skill or skills for a bit. And I think back to like the Sage, when it was announced, it was said that they can temporarily augment their own abilities, and then I go, yeah, make this crazy, make that crazy. Anyhow, that is all that I really wanted to say in this video. I mean, guys, if by some miracle all of these points are hit with the Sage, you know before I even say a thing on my channel that I am officially maining the Sage. Here's hoping, let's pray.